All right, y'all, today we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business. Going to see for its local search, see for its city search if either of them, any of them, got BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we take declining boudoir photographers, bring them to help them become the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that, whatever, pinned video, home video, whatever. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. If we're capturing everyone across the entire intent spectrum, business is probably rising. If we're missing people, not getting enough people, business is probably falling. So on the left side, that's what we talk about here, BSS. We're focusing on the highest intent people. This is people searching for boudoir, photo shoots on social search, Google search, things like that, like directly typing it in and searching it. And way at the other end, we got our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, talking about BLCS. And that's where right now we are only working with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, now we're into BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's what our whole video is about. We're going to see this is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots on Google, on page 1 of Google, dead, because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. So that we can't have that. We're going to be, that's a quick path to our boudoir photography business totally disappearing on us. If we got 1 slot on page 1 of Google, still not good, because everyone else, every other boudoir photographer also has 1 slot, which means anyone searching is going to click through everyone's, contact everyone, get a, get quotes from everyone, and that means probably 9 other competitors going to be on page 1 on Google, because organic slots are, there's 10 of them. And here we teach the GBC minimum of 3. We actually want to get 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google, kind of minimum that we feel that would guarantee we're treading water. We're most likely not disappearing, not declining, or at least treading water, maybe even growing. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's extremely common. Everyone accepts it as normal, but it's not normal. Having that few number of slots on page 1, not normal, is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. There's 2 deeper root causes, which most people know about. The first one, market saturation. Second one, the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses, is the false belief of page 1 equality. So first, market saturation. Yeah, that's seems like new boudoir photographers entering the market every single week. Get a new iPhone, they're starting out their Google My Business profile, saying they have for boudoir shoots, throwing their website up, kind of chalking up the page 1 Google search, making it more crowded. Or they get a new camera, they're posting them, the mom group saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So that's market saturation. But the #1 silent killer, #1 killer and silent killer boudoir photography businesses I've seen is this false belief of page 1 equality. So that is when we actually believe it's normal to have either 0 or 1 slots on page 1. Every boudoir photographer gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1. That's how it is. And we got more market saturation. Okay, my 1 slot on page 1 is now 0 slots on page 1, 1 slot on page 2. Well, what can you do? Everyone gets 0, 1 slots on page 1. Wrong, incorrect. I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days. I took as many slots as I wanted using the solution we're going to talk about here. And I feel like people have not looked for a solution or a way to solve this because they didn't even know they were implicitly agreeing with the page 1 false belief of page 1 equality. I feel like most people didn't even know that this belief existed. They kind of just, I don't know, auto accepted it, maybe didn't have the words for it, but it's actually a false belief. Now, a boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Because if we're on page 2 or later of Google, we already know approximately 80% of searchers never seen us. So yeah, we're definitely disappearing. If we only got one slot on page one, we're also disappearing because there's 9 other slots, probably 9 other competing boudoir photographers. Everyone's going to click through. We're being price shopped against everyone, blah, blah, blah. And so this is kind of the canary in the coal mine to, if this is occurring, eventually the entire boudoir photography business is going to disappear. So we got a solution. BSS is treated with social search saturation, or S-cubed methodology. We invented this, been working on it for about 7 months, finally bringing it to market. And again, this is what I use to go from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google in 10 days. And this is the only thing I've actually seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation. But to use it, we first got to crush the false belief of page 1 equality. So if we accept that as false, then we can use the solution to fight back against market saturation. And it's right in the name, social search saturation. So we're going to saturate social search with the highest intent keywords. And as a result, people, they'll basically only find us when they search for the highest intent keywords for a boudoir photographer, a boudoir photo shoot in their city. And as a result of ranking for those on all the social search engines, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, then that flows and ranks us on higher chance page 1 on Google. And let's say we got a million boudoir photographers and we're in Austin, Texas. A million boudoir photographers in Austin, Texas. Everyone's got a website. Everyone's ranking, but we turn S-cubed methodology up to the max. And dude, we're ranking the first 300 slots of, boudoir photo shoot in Austin on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Flow, and that flows. We're ranking the first 300 slots on Google. So that's literally the first 30 pages because 10 organic slots per page. It literally doesn't matter. Those 999,999 other boudoir photographers, if people can basically only ever find us, our business will be growing fine. If people gotta go page 31 on Google search to find another boudoir, another boudoir photographer in our city, we're probably gonna get most of the business, if not all of it, or approximately all of it. So this is the power, kind of half the power of S-cubed methodology. Some more bonus stuff about it at the end. Now, once treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. So we got more than 2. Well, we got 2 or more. Well, at least we don't have 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. We prefer to hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 slots. But for every extra slot we get, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1 entirely, effectively making them invisible. Because remember, we're focusing on the 80% here, the approximately 80% that do not go to page 2 of Google search. They're page 1 only peeps. So kicking a competitor off, they effectively become invisible to 80% of searchers, the bulk of the market. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So this is our universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page 1, the false belief of page 1 equality. That's fine. We now have a solution, S-cubed methodology. And we achieve page 1 visibility and become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. And that's simply starting the momentum. Can continue the momentum as long as one wants. And, potentially turn this into page 1 domination. So this is my most recent foray into using this strategy. I'm going to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. And AI overview, that's not me. Then we got the Google Map Pack. But here we're looking at the organic. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Or organic slot 2, Instagram, me. Organic slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I got 9 out of 10 slots went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots in 10 days. Who's someone coming to if they're searching BLCS Boudoir? That's right. Most likely only me. I got 90% of these slots. And for someone to like catch me, they would have to catch up to me with what I'm doing daily and exceed me what I'm doing daily to even have a chance to start kind of breaking in here. Now the main event here, we're gonna check out this Boudoir photography business. Check out its local search, city search. See if we got any BSS. See if we're in the GBC recommended minimums. All right, so we're going to Henderson, Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, let's see Henderson, Nevada. Henderson, Nevada. All right, so let's see what we got. Nope. Nope. All right, we got 0 out of 10 for Henderson, Nevada. So we got BSS there. And now we're going to Las Vegas. All right, let's go. All right, so let's check this. All right, we got one. There we go. Boom, we got one. All right, so we got 1 out of 10. All right, so going back to our. All right, so local search Henderson. What's that? Is that part of Las Vegas? I believe that's my best guess. So we're at 0 out of 10 slots there. So we got BSS. We're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots, page 1, Google search. Las Vegas, we got 1 out of 10. So we still do have BSS with the search sameness. And we also are not meeting the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 of Google search. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've actually done your local searches, done your city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you're seeing you had either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 Google search for any of those searches, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots for any of those searches, and you've accepted the fact that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief, and you actually see an S-cubed methodology is the only way forward, and you've actually been waiting for something like this. You're loving the initial benefits, more slots page 1 on Google. You're especially loving kicking competitors off page 1 on Google, reducing them, page 2 or deeper, where we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even reach page 2. So make them visible to essentially approximately 80% of the marketplace. And you're looking ahead and you're saying, man, AI is taking a lot of people's jobs right now. It's going to take even more and more people's jobs in the future. Last time that happened, COVID, a ton of boudoir photographers entered the marketplace because everyone's got a super powered smartphone, got awesome camera, and everyone still needs to earn money. So guess what? You already are anticipating a massive market saturation, already more than, kind of standard people upgrading their gear. So way more on top of that. And you realize, man, you actually got to fortify your position on page 1 Google search. You need to have actually so many links that Google could rank page 1 in Google search that it runs out of slots. And then you start filling up page 2, 3, 4. Basically fortify your position so much that no current boudoir photographer can ever rank on page 1 again, nor could any future boudoir photographer that comes in because AI took their job ever has the chance to rank again. And so you're saying, man, how to get all those links kind of circulating, and you're saying again, S-cubed methodology is the only methodology that enables that. You're also liking that, kind of the way this technology works is we're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns around our brand, basically plug into our brand for the different keywords we're utilizing and ranking for, that every day we successfully execute S-cubed methodology, we're actually increasing the probability to be shown up here way at the top, AI overview. The most premium placement is an organic placement. We can now buy this, cannot pay for this with ads. So increasing the probability of being here every day, the most premium placement on the page. There's some people that will just come here, click, and buy from this person. We're also increasing the probability every single day that AI Search apps recommend us as well. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. Every day we successfully execute SQ methodology or increase, and probably these guys recommend us for their, well, basically in their search. And last time I searched for boudoir photographer in a city, I actually ChatGPT. I did with ChatGPT. It recommended me 3 peeps. And then went and looked manually, Google search, manual Facebook search. And dude, there's like 60 boudoir photographers in the city. So I'm like, man, we got to find a way to get one of these 3, AI recommended slots in the AI search apps ASAP. And you're saying SQ methodology is the only solution that can give you that benefit as well. And you're seeing that the kind of showing up on all these surfaces over time, social search, Google search, and these invisible thematic keywords attached to us. We're actually building our brand at an estimated 8x rate, kind of fast tracking us getting a large, well-known brand in our city, so that market saturation affects us way less. You also understand my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, so you can actually get all these benefits, build all this AI mindshare momentum in the back end keywords, these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to your brand, kind of your social handles, your name, your website name, and prevent your competitors from participating, getting any of these benefits at all. So we look basically like a massive gap that approximately no competitor currently or in the future will ever be able to overcome. So you decide to be a first mover advantage and hop on this first because you understand the converse, which is one of your boudoir photographer competitors in your city signing on with me first. They get all these benefits, more slots page 1 on Google, kicking people like you off page 1 of Google off to page 2, 3, 4, or even deeper, fortifying their position. So basically none of their competitors, including you, basically ever have a chance to rank page 1 on Google. Build up such a massive backend AI keyword mindshare so that the no competitors, including you, basically have ever a chance to catch up with them, being recommended for AI overview and recommended in AI search, and building up their brand so much faster, approximately 8x faster than any other strategy. And you're realizing to compete in that scenario, you would actually have to rederive SQ methodology for yourself on your own. You would never actually be 100% confident you successfully derived it. And then you'd have to go and successfully equal our daily execution of that methodology. And if you did all that, you would simply be maintaining the current gap me and your competitor have already achieved ahead of you. So to make inroads, kind of make some distance on that gap, close that gap, you'd actually have to double or triple our output every single day. And then if you did that, you actually wouldn't even be confident to put in that much time because, again, you would never be 100% confident you've derived the methodology correctly in the first place. And then even if you did, who's got 80 hours to do all that? So you realize on all that, and you're like, screw that. You've decided to be the first mover, sign on first, get this out of the way, make sure you don't miss out on this opportunity. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. The hospital is currently closed for new patients, but when the hospital does open for new patients, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S cubed methodology.